of those things matter. All right. So yeah, without further ado, because your boy does have to get on a plane and I want to respect our guest's time. Uh I want, some of y'all, you might have heard about apartheid in South Africa. In America, we don't get a very detailed, a very nuanced, a very sophisticated understanding. Uh, if you were lucky, you heard about Nelson Mandela. Maybe you heard about Steve Biko, but that's about it, right? And you didn't hear about any of the details, any of the nuanced analysis, the connections to white supremacy, right? It becomes this thing that happened in the past, much like America does to all issues of race. It becomes this ambiguous thing that was terrible, but we don't actually have to talk about or deal with. Certainly isn't impacting our current situation. And that is just not true. And the Trump administration is letting us know, highlighting the dangers of accepting that story. And so I'm not gonna paraphrase what the Trump administration is doing. I'm going to let these folks tell you themselves. So let me go here. We're gonna go here. We're gonna share our screen, and we're gonna hear it from the orange guy himself. What he's saying about South Africa. Hold on, let me get this set up over here. So this dude right here.
Because they're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed. Now, South Africa leadership is coming to see me, I understand, sometime next week. And, we're supposed to have I guess a G20 meeting there or something, but we're having a G20 meeting. I don't know how we can go unless that situation's taken care of, but it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place. And farmers are being killed. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me. But white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in South Africa. And the newspapers and the media, television media, doesn't even talk about it. If it were the other way around, they talk about it. That would be the only story they talk about. And I don't care who they are. I don't care about their race, their color. I don't care about their height, their weight. I don't care about anything. I just know that what's happening is terrible. I have people that live in South Africa. They say it's a terrible situation taking place. So we've essentially extended citizenship to those people to escape from that violence and come here.
All right, folks. So you can see there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on there. And thankfully, I do not have to make sense of this myself. And I don't believe he knows anybody from South Africa. Well, that's not true. He knows Elon Musk. I don't think he knows any non-white person from South Africa. But I do. And now we do. So I want to invite and have y'all welcome a friend of mine I met 2 years ago now, I think, at the White Privilege Conference in Tulsa. And he reminded me of where we met because of his shirt that he's wearing today. But he's become a good friend, a source of inspiration, a source of connection when it feels overwhelming. He is the director of the Social Justice Agency, and we're gonna welcome Edwin Cleopas today to the show. What's up, Edwin? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Good to be here. Hi to all the people out there. Good to chat to you all this today. And hopefully we can come out of this a little more woke. The good woke.
A little more, a little more woke for sure. I like that layout better. Man, thank you so much for being here. I know. So Edwin is joining us from South Africa. Where at exactly in South Africa?
I'm in the Western Cape, so Cape Town.
Okay, nice. So, Edwin, help us make sense of this, brother. Like, what's going on? Why is Trump and why are folks like, oh, they're killing white farmers in South Africa? How terrible! Help us understand what's happening.
Yeah. So let's just say, let's start at the beginning. What a lot of people won't even know is that some white dude went on X a year or so back, and he started escalating this narrative that white people are being killed by the masses here in South Africa. And so his message was then picked up from X by Elon Musk, and he then started peddling all this bullshit. And Musk and Trump is obviously connected, and so that's how Trump got into this. So this is the Elon Musk agenda being pushed by Trump now, because Trump is a proxy, as it seems, of Elon Musk. The thing is, a few weeks ago, the dude that actually posted that was exposed because they used fake names. So one of the newspapers or the news houses here in South Africa actually went and looked who this belonged to, and turns out it was a white guy who lives with his parents, or was living off his parents, that was just posting some bullshit trying to destabilize the people in South Africa. And so that Elon Musk and all of them were running after something that was basically fake news. And so that was all exposed in South Africa a couple of weeks ago. But to give some context, South Africa was colonized by the Dutch and the English, and a lot of these guys, for most of the African countries, when colonization ended, a lot of those people left the country, and black people were left to their own devices to work in their country and build their countries. South Africa is a little bit different because the colonizers remained in South Africa, and they then claimed all of the land, basically all of the farming land, all of the wealth. They literally drained the mines and all the wealth from us, and continue to do so even today. And so they created a system of apartheid, which said that everything about white is superior and everything else is less than, and black people were then dehumanized based on the system of apartheid. So under that system, black people couldn't own land, we couldn't accumulate wealth, we couldn't basically do anything in this country that would affect white people and their comforts. And so if anybody ever attempted that, we were killed by the thousands during the period of apartheid. And so it was in the end labeled as a crime against humanity, and that's how bad it was. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
same refugees that is currently claiming refugee status in the US, those people are the descendants of this group that has literally taken so much away from black South Africans. And the only reason they are claiming this victimhood right now is because the black government didn't even do anything yet. They just said, they didn't do anything, Ryan. They just said, we need to find a way to give back some of the land to the original people who own the land, which is normal in all countries. It's normal. They do it in the US. They gave land back to the Indian people that was removed from their indigenous grounds, and similarly so in other countries where genocide have really taken place and peoples were oppressed and overthrown. There need to be a return of the land, the wealth, the resources, and things like that. This was only white people being told we're going to do this, and this is the response, right? Playing this big ass victimhood card and telling people that they've been genocide sided here. There is no genocide of white people in South Africa. It's a myth. It doesn't exist. The ones claiming that they are being particularly targeted, which is called the farmers, the Boers, um, they are under attack no more than any of us. I have equal opportunity to be killed as they are, because we are all impacted by crime and violence in our country. Violence that was brought to our shores by these colonizers, because we were peaceful people. We had internal wars, but we could live with one another as it was. But they brought a type of violence where we don't want people to live amongst each other with peace and love. And so that violence now enacted around us is the norm. And so we are all impacted and affected by us, no one more than the other. But I wanted to highlight something. I want to get to the refugee part, but I want to also say this. There's millions of white people in South Africa, only 49 left. Now, if there was a genocide and it was so scary and dangerous, you tell me how millions of them are still sitting out here enjoying life, kicking it with the best wine, the best views, the best life. You know what I mean? 49 people left. Come on, you have to be stupid to believe that that is a real story,
I was
right? Now,
less than 1% of less than like one
not not
percent of
e-
one
not
percent.
even not
Yeah,
even it's 0.001%. And
yeah.
then to top it off, any refugee that has ever left a place where they have been victims of violence, oppression, crime, they had left with barely nothing but their lives to get to safety. These so called refugees left on a chartered plane with all their beautiful luggage all picked up nicely, with them going to the airport with farewells with families and whatnot. And it was a whole fanfare of things that took place, but they are refugees and they sought refuge from the US because it's so bad in South Africa.
They're scared
The
for their
final
lives
point,
and
they
all
scared
that.
for their lives, but they went on a normal flight. But the final thing that I want to say, or not the final thing, two more. They're leaving here as refugees, and I want to say to the US, don't even think for a moment you got our finest. That's the worst of what we have. So that's the worst, right? So you made your bed. You need to sleep in it now because you'll find out soon who they
Well,
are
and
and
I
what you
mean
got.
it's so like quintessential Trump, right? Like take the most outlandish,
Yep,
wildest thing that you can say about a group of people or about a situation. Say it with confidence, like it's the truth. In the
yep,
meanwhile, almost everything that's the exact opposite of that is what's actually happening, right? It's a projection, it's gaslighting,
yep,
it's all of those things, right? So he says Mexico and the South American countries are sending our worst, when the reality is those are legit refugees running from neoliberal economic
yeah,
order and U.S. military intervention and the country, and so we're stopping those refugees. But the country that is actually sending us is worst, are getting
yep.
chartered flights and welcomed with open arms.
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
the
And
it's
he
it's
makes
it's
it.
like the most quintessential Trump thing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's on point with who he is. I mean, they are being killed. Their land has been taken without compensation. They are under threat. It's the worst type of life that they could have. This dude don't even know nothing about South Africa. He's never been. He doesn't know a little piece of information that is genuine about South Africa. And to say that these things are happening to these people are all bullshit. Because guess what? This is the best part, Ryan. Every single day and across months and months of the year, thousands of Americans come to South Africa every single day to
I
come and
know,
holiday and to kick it and chill out here in what we have to offer. But there is a genocide in South Africa and
and
white
you're
people
not
are
safe
being
if you're
killed.
white. Yeah, yeah.
But all you people, all the white people from the US are coming here to have holidays. I mean, tell me how many people have gone to Gaza for a holiday. Tell me.
Let's
Tell me how
and
many
so
white
let's
people
talk
have been
about
going to
yeah.
Gaza. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know?
well, and let's talk about that because something that Trump he's using the word genocide in reference to what's happening to white South Africans. And correct me if I'm wrong; these are Afrikaners, right? Would be the appropriate term.
Yeah, yeah. They call
Yep. Like,
themselves
and he's
Afrikaners. The, the,
yeah
the, the,
he's
the, the, the proper term would be Europeans.